Please take a seat here. We're also waiting for our leaders. This afternoon.
Okay dah.
Morning everyone.
Morning.
Have a seat. Thank you. Sorry for being late.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's okay. Thank you for joining this meeting. Today we will discuss the witness identified in the sales process at Melati Medical Center Sidang Berhad. And the recommendation we have proposed. Our goal is to ensure our observations are accurate and that our suggestions are practical and actionable. Let's begin with a quick overview of the issue we identified.
I'm ready to discuss the issue and recommendation in detail.
Hello. I'm looking forward to refining our approach and making sure we cover all this.
Alright. Let's dive into the details and ensure we have robust solutions.
Great. The first issue we identified is the lack of segregation of duties. Specifically, Mr. Amar performed both cash receipt function and billing tasks, while Mr. Dikri handles multiple tasks including setting up account receivable, preparing some revenue summaries, and writing off uncollectible accounts. So, Mr. Amar, what are your thoughts on the feasibility of redistributing this task to ensure better segregation of duties?
Redistributing tasks is certainly feasible. One approach could be to assign the cash receipt function to one clerk and billing to another. For clerk 2, we can split their responsibility among other staff members or hire an additional person to help manage the workload. This redistribution will reduce the risk of error or fraud and provide more oversight.
Excellent point, Mr. Amar. Considering the current staff size and their responsibilities, how do you suggest we implement this redistribution without causing disruption to daily operations?
We need to conduct a detailed workflow analysis to identify the specific tasks and time required for each function. Once we have this information, we can reassign duties in a way that minimizes disruption. Training session and transition period will be essential to ensure staff are comfortable with their new role and responsibility.
Great, I agree with Mr. Zikri. Mr. Midan, do you think this redistribution would address the mental health concerns we mentioned in our recommendation, given the high workload currently assigned to individual clerks?
Absolutely. Reducing the workload on individual clerks will not only mitigate risk but also improve job satisfaction and mental health. Overburdened employees are more likely to make errors and their stress levels can lead to burnout. By balancing the workload, we can create a healthier work environment which in turn boosts productivity and reduce the likelihood of mistakes.
Good point. Now, on to the second issue, that of credit approval control. Currently, credit is approved by the physician based solely on an interview with the patient. Without any formal documentation or process, Mr. Amar, how can we implement a more structured and documented credit approval process?
We can introduce a standardized credit approval form that the physician need to fill out after their interview with the patient. This form should include key details such as the patient financial status, credit history, and the rationale for granting credit. The complete form should then be reviewed and approved by the office manager or another designated authority to ensure consistency and accountability.
That sounds effective. Mr. Zikri, what steps should we take to train the staff on this new credit approval process and ensure compliance?
We can start by conducting training workshops to explain the new process and its importance. Providing writing guidelines and checklists will help staff understand the steps they need to follow. Additionally, we should schedule periodic review and audits to ensure the process is being followed currently and to address any issue that arise.
Excellent. Mr. Midan, do you foresee any challenges with implementing this new credit approval process, particularly from the physician perspective?
Physicians might resist the additional paperwork initially, but by explaining the benefits, such as reducing bad debts and improving financial stability, we can gain their support. It's also important to keep the process as streamlined as possible to minimize the burden on them. Regular feedback sessions can help us refine the process based on their input.
Good insight. Moving on to the third issue, inadequate oversight of write-off approval. Currently, Mr. Zikri handles write-off after receiving approval from the physician. With no independent review, Mr. Amar, how do you propose we implement an independent review process for write-off?
We can establish a policy that require all write-off to be reviewed or approved by an independent reviewer, such as an internal auditor or senior manager who is not involved in daily account receivable tasks. We should also develop clear criteria for when an account can be written off to ensure consistency and fairness in the decision-making process.
I see. That sounds solid. Mr. Zikri, what additional steps can we take to ensure this process is transparent and prevent unauthorized write-offs?
In addition to the independent review, we should maintain a detailed log of all write-off, including the reason for the write-off and the approval documentation. Regular audit of these logs can help detect any irregularities. We should ensure that the criteria for write-off are well documented and communicated to all relevant staff.
Great. Mr. Midan, Do you think this independent review process will effectively reduce the risk of unauthorized or fraudulent write-off?
Yes. Having, having an independent review adds an extra layer of oversight, which will help ensure that write-offs are justified and properly documented. This process will deter fraudulent activities and ensure that only genuinely uncollectible accounts are written off, thereby protecting the organization's financial integrity.
Excellent. Lastly, let's address the issue of the office manager handling both main deposit and reconciliation. Mr. Ahmad, how can we ensure these tasks are handled independently?
We should assign the task of a bank reconciliation to an independent individual who does not handle cash receipt or bank deposit. This person could be a member of the accounting team or an internal auditor. We should also implement a detailed reconciliation process that include regular review and prompt investigation of discrepancies.
That's a good approach. Mr. Zikri, do you think this will be sufficient to prevent potential errors or fraudulent activities related to bank reconciliation?
Yes. Supporting these duties will significantly reduce the risk of error or fraud. The independent individual should be well trained in reconciliation processes and should report their finding to both the office manager and higher management. This will ensure any issues are promptly addressed and provide additional oversight.
Excellent. Mr. Midat, any additional suggestion to strengthen this aspect of sorry? Sir, Mr. Midat, any additional suggestion to strengthen this aspect of the internal control system?
I think we should also implement a policy requiring monthly reconciliation and periodic audits of the reconciliation process. This will ensure ongoing accuracy and accountability. Additionally, regular communication between the office manager and the independent reconciler will help resolve any discrepancies quickly.
Great suggestion. Thank you all for your valuable input. We have a comprehensive plan to address the weakness in the sales process at Melati Medical Center, Sdn Bhd. Our next step will be to formalize this recommendation and present them to the management for implementation. Let's schedule a follow-up meeting in 2 weeks to review the progress and address any challenges. Any final comment before we adjourn?
No additional comment from me. Looking forward to seeing this improvement in action.
No further comment. Great job, everyone.
Nothing more to add. Thanks to the productive discussion.
Thank you, everyone. This concludes our meeting. Have a great day.
Thank you, Mr. Imran.
Thank you, Simran.